Nintendo news, viewer questions, player spotlight, and our Nintendo Time Portal is all coming up. Stay tuned! NintendoChitChat podcast starts shortly. Grab the audio version of the NintendoChitChat podcast on iTunes, Google Music, SoundCloud, or Player FM. Support this podcast by blasting that like button, sharing the stream, and subscribing right now. Nintendo Chit-Chat podcast with your hosts Eddy Ray and Samantha Lienhard starts right now.
All right, here we are, guys. Welcome to episode 25 of the Nintendo Chit-Chat podcast. This is titled Mario Tennis Aces. I know you guys are super excited about that. It releases tomorrow on the Nintendo Switch. A couple weeks back, we had the demo tournament as well, so that really got you guys hyped up for the game. If you guys are in chat, let me know if you're excited about the release of that game. We'll be doing a lot of coverage of Mario Tennis Aces here, starting in the next few days, actually, thanks to Nintendo. We're getting a review copy of that, so we'll be doing a bunch of the adventure mode, some online stuff with you guys as well, so looking forward to it as well. And tonight, we'll be talking all about Mario Tennis. Ash had Samantha a little while ago, a few weeks back, actually, do the best and worst of Mario Tennis series, so we'll discuss that later on. And we got the time portal today as well, viewer questions, and of course the player spotlight. Who will it be? So all that ahead, guys, plus your Nintendo news bites for this week. I'll be right back. Stay tuned.
You're listening to the Nintendo Chit-Chat podcast with your hosts Eddy Ray and Samantha Lienhard. We'll be right back after the short break. Visit our website at NintendoChitChat.com and catch up on everything Nintendo. You're listening to the Nintendo Chit-Chat podcast with your host, Eddy Ray and Samantha Lienhard.
All right, very short break, guys. We got a lot to talk about with all of you, so welcome. Good to see you, Frank, Anita, JKW, Simon, Sagan. We got Megan out there, Hannah as well. Welcome, guys, to the podcast, episode 25. And, of course, welcome back, our writer and editor, Samantha Lienhard. Welcome back, Samantha.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you are not in your normal studio or whatever. You're actually away, which is cool. So
podcasting mobile today.
Which is awesome. Yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed. Everything sounds good on your end, so we should be good to go. We are, again, this week, streaming live on both Facebook and YouTube, so hopefully that actually works out for us too. I see some comments here from Megan saying awesome in her Facebook comments on the stream. Is pretty cool. We've got our YouTube chat above me too, so comment away, guys, and hang out with us. All right, so we're here on Thursday, and again, Mario Tennis Aces releases tomorrow. How was the news week so far at this point, Samantha?
A little lighter than usual, probably because we did just come from E3, so there's probably got all those announcements out of the way.
For sure. So we're going to kick things off here with some big news, actually. And this is regarding, I'm sure you've all heard of it by now, Disney and Nintendo are kind of collaborating and coming together to work together on, is this going to be an actual TV show, is that right?
Yes, that's my understanding. It's going to be a TV show called Nintendo Switch Family Showdown, where 4 families compete against each other in Switch games, and that is going to debut this summer, I believe they said.
Yeah, I was surprised to actually see they're going to be actually televising this. When I first heard about it, I thought like it would be like a web series or something like that, but actually televising, it's really big for Nintendo, so looking forward to this. So yeah, we don't know too much else besides these families competing against each other in a variety of Switch games. I'm assuming probably first-party stuff, like probably Mario Kart, Splatoon, I would think. Mario Tennis Aces probably as well. But we'll see. So this is kind of Wii-esque momentum here for Nintendo, kind of getting back on top of the video game world, so to speak. So yes, looking forward to this. All right, so let's move along then in the news bites. We have some, I guess, more visual novel news, and take that into account here. We got a lot of these recently, so we got 2 more, is that right?
Yes, well, so far only confirmed for Japan, but Robotics Note Elite, which that semicolon in the title is significant. It's in the same, I think it's in the same series as Steins Gate, not just by the same people. But so that is coming to the Switch in Japan. And while it wasn't officially announced when they showed it, next to its icon, there was an icon for the visual novel Memories Off Innocent Delay. I'm not entirely sure how to say that. So
Yeah, I
that
was
one
wondering.
hasn't been announced yet, but its icon was shown.
Okay, so I guess it was shown by mistake possibly or whatever, but so we're getting 2 more visual novels then, and that's pretty cool. We've got Joe Wilmer from Facebook saying hello. Hello, Joe. Good to see you. All right, so 2 more visual novels to add to your Switch collection if you're getting these, whether it be in Japan or whatever. Of course, the Switch is region free, so that really helps out easily. All right, so moving along, we have Agalos. This is a 2D action-adventure game, and this is inspired by what game?
Wonder Boy, which we've been hearing a lot about lately since there was the new game coming out and then the spiritual successor. So now this is a new one inspired by it, and so that is also coming to consoles this year.
Awesome. So I have a little screenshot of this. Looks pretty cool. So yeah, very much inspired by Wonder Boy for sure. So I'm looking forward to this. Let me guys know if you've played or are interested in, I should say, Wonder Boy. And then, of course, Agalos, which is coming to consoles this year. All right, then we have a mobile game, which is Hiroki. This has been on, I guess, Android and iOS, and this is coming to the Switch this summer. What kind of game is Hiroki?
Yeah, so this is another action-adventure game.
Excellent. So another action-adventure. Perfect. And do you know who developed this at all? I think...
Oh,
Did
boy,
Sega publish it or something? I keep seeing Sega's name attached to it, but I don't think they developed it. They may have published
Yeah,
it.
I don't know. Yeah, let me see if I can find out anything about it.
You also look it up here too, because I was searching
Yeah,
earlier.
it does show up. It does show up on Sega's website, so they must have had something to do with it.
Right. Okay. I was watching some videos of this, so it looks pretty good. Hopefully the port gets some improved graphics, but hey, a little action adventure game for the Switch. That's pretty cool. I've been seeing a lot of these kind of coming over from mobile devices to the Switch, which is actually not a bad idea for these developers. So, okay, moving along, we have Shikando Soul Eater. Say that 10 times fast. That's coming to consoles, and I believe this is a bullet hell game. Is that right?
Yeah, so bullet hell shoot 'em up game. So plenty of shoot 'em ups.
Yeah, for sure. So visual novels and shoot 'em ups, we have plenty of those. All right, so that kind of goes through the news bites. Now we have a bunch of release dates to talk to you guys about. We have dates covering all the way into October, it looks like. So we'll go over a couple of these here for June. The first one, of course, is Limbo, June 28th. And then also June 20th will bring us Inside as well. Is this by different developers or the same developer?
The same developer, Playdead, I believe is their name, and I think Limbo was a surprise. They announced Inside would be coming to the Switch, but then when they announced the release date, they announced that Limbo would be coming out on the same day.
Okay, that's really cool. And so, moving along then to July 3rd, we have a very popular game, Runbow, coming out to the Switch. And I guess a retail version will follow after that date. Is that right?
Yes, so they haven't given a date for the retail version yet, just that it'll be sometime after the July 3rd release.
Awesome. And do we know about anything new being added to the game, or is it kind of the core gameplay still from the other releases?
And I think it's pretty much the same thing. I don't know if they've said anything in particular.
Okay. It's a fun game, though, for sure. If you guys haven't played Runbow, you can get it, of course, on, I think the Wii U had it, 3DS, new 3DS might have been actually exclusive to that, so. But coming to the Switch, so that's cool, July 3rd. All right, then we have Steins Gate Elite. This is just for Japan only. That will be September 20th. And then moving along to the 25th of September is what, Samantha?
Okay, so that is Valkyria Chronicles 4, one a lot of people have been looking forward to. And so they also announced that there's going to be a bonus for pre-orders and the first run, which if you're in North America, you'll get a skin for your controller. And if you're in Europe, you'll get a sticker. But whether it's the skin or the sticker, both feature Ragnarok the Medic Dog.
Oh, okay. That's pretty neat. And of course, we have the special edition. You can also order if you're interested in
Yes.
that. It has the whole tank and everything with it, which is really cool. That's pretty cool. So I guess that will be packaged into this Switch box, these little
Right.
skins or stickers. That's really neat. All right, then September 27th, we have Dragon Ball Fighter Z for Japan. Then September 28th in North America and Europe. All right, and then of course rounding out the release dates for this week, we know about Warriors Orochi 4 coming to North America on October 16th, and of course October 19th in Europe. We also have a new trailer available as well for the game. And did you also hear this, Samantha? I heard that they're targeting 1080p 60 frames per second for this game, which kind of surprised me actually. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
I think I read. Yeah, I think I read that on Go Nintendo or Nintendo Everything. I wasn't quite sure what Twitter feed I saw it on, but I was kind of interested by that because, if I recall, I think Fire Emblem Warriors and also Hyrule, I think that's still dynamic resolutions on the docked side of things. So we'll see about this. But the game looks great. Another Warriors game. Of course, this is kind of going back to the roots of the game. Not a themed game like you have for Fire Emblem or Hyrule. We have Warriors Orochi 4, which is back to the original kind of gameplay style with original characters too. Okay, so trailers and details then, Samantha. We've got, looks like 4 or so here. And we know a little bit more about the next kind of Alchemist game coming. And what is this one?
Yeah, so this is the one that we talked about last time, Nelk and the Legendary Alchemist, which is the town-building spin-off of the Atelier series. And so the premise, they reveal some story details. So the basic premise here is that the main character has no ability to be an alchemist, but she wants to help out anyway. So I believe she ends up in charge of the village, and she decides to revitalize it to help people out.
That sounds pretty interesting. We see, I'm looking at some chat comments here. We have Aaron from Facebook saying Mario Tennis better be better than the Wii U one. It certainly is. If you haven't seen any gameplay of it, it certainly is 100%, I would think, better than the Wii U version of the game. We'll see if it rivals, though, some of the other games in this series. We'll talk about more of that later on in the podcast with Samantha and you guys in chat. All right, and then we also have trailers and details regarding Inazuma 11 Aries. Is this like a soccer game? What kind of game is this?
Yes, the Inazuma 11 games, it's a soccer RPG series from Level 5.
Very cool.
So this one, I think it's only announced for Japan so far, and it's kind of disappointing news because they had just recently delayed it, and now it seems, again, like a sign that it's not as far along as they expected it to be, because it was supposed to have a playable demo at the World Hobby Fair Summer 2018. Event, but instead it's going to have a stage event instead of the playable demo.
Ah, okay, so maybe a little behind in maybe development of the game, but okay, so that's pretty cool. So it's an RPG-esque game. That sounds really interesting to me, especially with soccer, so that's neat. All right, then we got...
Very anime style, too.
Yeah, I have the graphic here, I can definitely tell. Very anime for sure. All right, guys, so good to see you in chat. We got Simon out there. Tracian, hello, good to see you. And Megan, all right. Does Mario Soccer exist? It does. It is called Mario Strikers. It does exist, though, for sure. All right, so we had a new trailer available for Cyber Delta, which is the kind of shoot-'em-up game as well. So a new trailer for that dropped, and also we have a new story trailer out right now you can check out on the website, NintendoChitChat.com. Of Shining Resonance Refrain as well. Does the trailer show anything kind of new besides, I guess, more to the story, right?
Yeah, so it shows a bunch of the characters and talks a little bit about the overall plot, and things like that.
Excellent. Of course, there's a demo still available, or that's actually available now, right? I forget.
Right.
Okay, yep, available right now.
Yeah, the demo is available now.
Cool. So new trailer out now. If you haven't played the demo, guys, do check out the demo as well for Shining Resonance Refrain. All right, moving along into updates and DLC with Samantha here. We got some Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 stuff to talk about, and who's being added to as DLC this summer?
Yes, so hold on a second, let me see here.
Sure.
Because I think, okay, the other thing was DLC. I thought but that's in the next section. So, no, yeah, it is down there.
Yeah, we have two in there.
Okay, I should put those two parts together, but they're separate. So, so the first thing announced is that Super Baby 2 is coming as DLC this summer.
Awesome. So Super Baby 2 adding as DLC. Then we can mention the other one as well. We have the Extra Pack 3 has been announced for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. And we only have one character announced so far for that, and that's Super Baby Vegeta or Vegeta.
Yes.
Very cool. So I guess they'll announce the other two down the line as that gets closer to releasing. All right. Hey, Demetrius. Good to see you. All right, so then we have some Nintendo Switch and 3DS news, I guess you could talk about.
Oh, we skipped some of the
Oh, I'm sorry,
DLC
yeah.
news in there.
Yeah, we have Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, actually. A new character is available as free DLC, and who's this?
Yeah, so this is Yang Xiaolong, who is not a character that I'm familiar with, but anyway, that is free DLC. But then the second and third character packs are also now available to buy for $4.99 each.
Awesome. So if you're interested in those character packs, you can get them right now. I do have a graphic here showing the female character on screen. I'm not quite sure who she is either, but I did find the image here, so check her out, guys, in the game on screen right now. All right, so moving along from Blaze Blue, we have some Harvest Moon Light of Hope Special Edition news. We have a new Marriageable Characters pack available, and that goes for what price?
Yes, so this is $5.99. I believe this is the one we discussed quite a while ago, back when it was first announced, that it would be introducing 2 new characters, I believe, that you will be able to marry.
Awesome. Yes, we did. We remember talking about that a while back, actually. All right, now we can go to the Nintendo Switch and 3DS news. Of course,
Yes.
the demo is available for actually both versions. Is that right? Both 3DS
Yes.
and the Switch for Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. So let me know in comments below if you've played the demo. I'm not sure how long it is. If it's only so many levels, I forget. I think I heard it earlier today, and I forget what they said now. I didn't play it yet. So let me know in the comments, guys, about how long the demo might be. Very curious about that. All right, so don't forget we have New Donk City and the Odyssey levels kind of coming to Treasure Tracker, and this is releasing in July, so not too far away from the release date either. So check out the demo. Simon says he's going to be doing the demo tomorrow, so cool. Have fun with that. All right, we'll take a short break here with Samantha, and we'll come back, guys, with a lot more stuff, including the time portal, your questions, and much, much more. Stay tuned.
You're listening to the Nintendo Chit-Chat podcast with your hosts, Eddy Ray and Samantha Lienhard. We'll be right back after the short break. Grab the audio version of the Nintendo Chit-Chat podcast on iTunes, Google Music, SoundCloud, or Player FM. Visit our website at NintendoChitChat.com and catch up on everything Nintendo. You're listening to the Nintendo Chit-Chat podcast with your hosts, Eddy Ray and Samantha Lienhard.
All right. We got JKW checking in on Facebook. Good to see you, JKW, there as well. Thanks for hanging out there. All right, so Samantha, let's actually take care of talking about Mario Tennis. It's kind of the title of the episode 2, Mario Tennis Aces, since it releases tomorrow.
All right.
And let's discuss this. So I guess it was a few weeks back. I think this actually happened before the demo released for Mario Tennis Aces. I asked you to do the best and worst of the series for Mario Tennis. Is that right?
Yes, although I ended up then, once I saw how many there were in the series and looked at some of the opinions, I decided to just go through each entry that was in the series and discuss the general reactions and general consensus on it.
Awesome. So you did a great job with the article here. We did post it and publish it a while back, guys, a few weeks ago. But I want to discuss it today because it's kind of, I guess, good timing to do so. Of course, the first entry in the series was Mario's Tennis. Mario apostrophe S Tennis, which we actually spoke about this too on our Mario Sports show for Nintendo Chit-Chat a few weeks back too. But this came out for what system?
Yes, so this was a Virtual Boy game.
And I actually heard it was one of the better games on the system. Of course, the game...
Yes, when I first...
Go ahead.
Yeah, when I first saw that, I thought, oh boy.
Yeah.
But yes, it actually turns out that it is considered to be a good game and one of the best games released for the Virtual Boy.
And that's, of course, considering we didn't have that many games released for the system too, but it still says something about tennis being
Yes.
well done by Nintendo even back then on the Virtual Boy, which failed pretty miserably, so to speak. So that's Mario's Tennis, and that came out 1995. So yeah, I never played this, but the series didn't come back until 5 years later, and that was on the Nintendo 64. Is that right?
Yes, and the Game Boy Color. There were two versions of Mario Tennis released that year. And so the two games were similar, but also had different things. And it sounds like you could use them together, so you could transfer characters between the two games.
Oh,
And the Game Boy Color version also had an RPG-like story mode, which is what makes it a favorite of many people.
wow. So yeah, so the N64 version didn't actually have that little story mode, RPG-like story mode actually added into. Is that correct?
Um,
So it was
yeah,
just
well,
that's interesting.
yes.
Did not know that. That's really cool, actually. So yeah, so if you guys played the Nintendo 64 version, let me know. Or if you played the Game Boy Color version, let me know. I remember playing the N64 version, but that was about it. I think it was my first Mario Tennis game, actually, was that. Because I never played Virtual Boy, so it was this. But it wasn't in 2000. It was like several years later, actually, that I played that. Then moving along to 2004. We had the GameCube. We had Mario Power Tennis released as well. Is that right?
Yes.
And this was expanding upon, I guess, the mechanics in the game. There were also some new moves added into the game as well called Power Shot. Is that right?
Right. So yeah. So when you talk about this one with people, you'll get a couple of different responses. Some people say that it took everything the Nintendo 64 game did and did it better, so therefore it's the best. But other people say it's not so good. They dislike the power shot moves,
Hmm.
but you can disable the power shot moves, which it seems like must not be very obvious because when I was researching it, a lot of people were surprised to find out that you could disable that.
Well, that's
But yes,
interesting.
if you don't like the power shots, you can disable them.
Yeah, it must have been like a little hidden like feature or something, or a setting somewhere where people just didn't, or they got so frustrated they didn't even care about it and just totally bypassed it. And then, of course, it was later brought to the Wii as well. But was there motion controls mixed into the gameplay then?
Yes, so the Wii version used motion control. That has made it get a worse reception than the GameCube version because not everyone enjoyed the motion controls.
I guess that was forced in that version of the game. And was it forced?
That's the impression I got. I don't know for
Yeah.
sure because I didn't play it.
Yeah, I only ever played Wii Sports on the Wii. I never played the tennis game on the Wii, so that's interesting. The Mario Sports tennis game, I should say. All right, so then 2005 saw probably one of the better ones in the series. Which one's this?
Yeah, so this is Mario Tennis Power Tour. Although in Europe and Australia it's called Mario Power Tennis, which is confusing because there was another one called Mario Power Tennis.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mario Tennis Power Tour. So this used gameplay mechanics that came from Mario Power Tennis, which already made it popular, but it also brought back the RPG elements from the Game Boy Color game and included returning characters from the Game Boy Color game.
Excellent. If I recall from my Nintendo Chit Chat show where we covered Mario Sports and covered some of the tennis games too, I think Mario Tennis Aces is the only tennis game since Mario Tennis Power Tour to feature story mode. So that's dating back all the way to 2005, guys. So 13 years without having a story mode in these tennis games. So it's pretty long ago. And so yeah, it's probably one of the more regarded games in the series, Mario Tennis Power Tour. Moving along then down to 2012. So the series here took a little bit of a hiatus, looks like, for a while, excluding the Wii version of Mario Power Tennis. So we have 2012. The 3DS saw which game?
Yeah, so this is Mario Tennis Open, and it didn't have any RPG elements. Like you said, it didn't have the story mode, which was the first for the handheld games, since the handheld ones previously had. It also added in the ability to play as Mii characters, and so this one seems like it's kind of neutral. So a lot of people don't really think it's one of the great ones in the series, but people don't really hate it either.
Right, I think it's probably one of the better ones in the past several years, because comparing it to Ultra Smash, of course, I think Mario Tennis Open is actually better because of Has better challenge modes, better courts. There's more content available in the game. It's more like a fuller game as compared to Ultra Smash. But the online is still going, guys, too. So if you get a copy of this game, you can still find people to play with online, which is really cool. That's Mario Tennis Open. All right, and then, of course, Ultra Smash. We mentioned it just a little bit ago, and in previous podcasts talking about Mario Tennis Aces, because everybody's comparing it to this. Ultra Smash released in 2015 for the Wii U. And how was the reception for this?
Not good. It seemed to lack a lot of the content and features that the previous games in the series had. And so people consider it to not only be a low point in the tennis series, but one of the worst Mario sports games.
Yeah, for sure. I've been hearing people comparing, Ultra Smash and Tennis Aces, and they're saying that Ultra Smash feels like a beta or an alpha version of what Aces became, because Aces is amazing. So it's almost like they were testing out some things here and kind of stopped development of the game or something, because it really seriously lacked content. There's really no court selections besides 3 or 4, I think. Had online play, but you couldn't play with friends. So that was restricted as well. Then also had some amiibo functionality too, which wasn't all that great. So it just lacked a lot of content, and that's why we're happy to have what releases tomorrow, and that of Mario Tennis Aces. So any last thoughts regarding Mario Tennis games, Samantha? Looking back at the history?
Oh, just that we all hope that Mario Tennis Aces redeems the series.
For sure. And I think it's got some good reviews. I think the reviews went up live a day or two ago. I was following John at Nomcoms, who does reviews for Game Explain, and did a follow-up review today actually talking about the online, because it wasn't switched on for most of the people doing reviews a couple days ago. So they had followed up with a review saying they really liked the game, and the online is much better than the tournament was a couple weeks back. I think John said he played, 60 tournaments or so, or 60 matches online, and only one actually had some stuttering to it. So as you're connecting online, I think he said that what happens is you get like a connection match going on, and if they have a bad connection, they will drop that player out and find somebody else more suitable for you to play with. So that's an excellent thing to hear, and so we're looking forward to playing this starting tomorrow. And by the way, guys, if you pre-order the digital copy, which you can still do, of course, because it releases tonight at midnight, you can get 300 My Nintendo Gold points still, if you get that pre-ordered right now through Nintendo. So take advantage of that if you want the digital copy of the game. All right, we'll take a short break with Samantha here, guys. We'll get to your questions, of course, the time portal, and the player spotlight, all after this. Stay tuned, guys. Be right back.
You're listening to the Nintendo Chit Chat podcast with your hosts, Eddy Ray and Samantha Lienhard. We'll be right back after the short break. Visit our website at NintendoChitChat.com and catch up on everything Nintendo.
Welcome back to episode 25, guys. Mario Tennis Aces again releases tomorrow, and thanks to Nintendo, we'll be covering the game on our channel, doing matches with you guys, doing the adventure mode, all kinds of gameplay for you starting very soon. So once again, thanks to Nintendo for that. And welcome back, Samantha. So let's talk some questions here. We got 3 questions from our viewers. And again, guys, if you want to submit your questions, you can do so to our email, NintendoChitChat@gmail.com. Or go to Discord. The invite link is below in the YouTube description. And go to our channel, hashtag NCC-podcast, and ask away. Ask 3 or 4 or 5 questions regarding Nintendo. And we'll pick a few each week, and we thank you guys very much for doing so. So here we go. So your viewer questions are ready to go here. By the way, there's like a gnat flying around my face right now. It's been so annoying. The whole podcast, like swatting my face around here with this stupid gnat. But hopefully I can kill it after the show. That's a threat to the gnat. All right, so here we go. First question is Anita. Our moderator and sponsor asks, what's your favorite and worst Switch games so far? And I actually had a hard time thinking about this, of what's my favorite, because I have a few. But Samantha, I'll let you go first. What are your favorite games first? Or
For
game?
my favorite games, yeah, I think it would have to be a tie between Super Mario Odyssey and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I might give the edge a little bit to Xenoblade just because I like RPGs more, but Mario Odyssey was fantastic to play too. So those would probably be at the top of my list right now.
And of course, only one of those games is getting DLC at this point. Because I was surprised we didn't get any DLC for Mario Odyssey. Were you surprised by that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I am surprised. I was expecting some more worlds. I was hoping they would expand that one world. I can't remember what the name of it was now, the sort of fantasy world. I was hoping they'd expand that into a full world.
Could you see them doing something for the holidays, though, still, like in a direct, kind of like popping out, here we go, here's some DLC for the holiday for the Super Mario Odyssey. Who knows?
Yeah, I think maybe they will.
Yeah. But of course, we have the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC coming out later this year as well, so that's pretty cool.
Yes.
So those are good choices. So we'll go to your worst game then in a bit. Let's go to my favorite games. I got a few here. I actually have the games in my hands too, so I'm really enjoying. I've enjoyed this actually. I need to play more of it to finish it up. But we have It'll Do 2 Plus for the Switch, and of course Nicholas has a bunch of goodies inside of here. But this is like a Zelda game basically. So there's puzzles, adventure, exploration, fighting. Really fun. Good game. Of course Splatoon 2. And the DLC Octo expansion is amazing. It's like a whole nother game with the challenges. It's pretty difficult too. So Splatoon 2. Doom. This is an excellent port from Bethesda. Solid game. I like it. And we'll go to one more. Rocket League. Got like 80 hours plus. Haven't played it for a while though, but excellent game. Fun with friends. So we got Doom, Rocket League, Splatoon 2, and It'll Do 2. Kind of a wide variety of games from shooters to adventure and fighting. So... or I should say, soccer and racing, Rocket League. All right, Samantha, so have you thought about your worst Switch game so far?
Yeah, I've thought about it a little bit. I think of games I've played, maybe that one, was it a platformer I think that I reviewed? The one where it was like procedurally generated, but the levels were all, or the areas were all kind of repetitive, so it never really looked very different, and it was very short.
Yeah. Was it
I can't remember what the
36 Fragments to Midnight? Was it that one?
something like that. Yes,
Okay.
yes, that sounds right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
It's
that
a very
one to
short
me
game,
was
too.
so short and kind of repetitive. So that one to me was a disappointment.
Yeah, for sure. I understand that totally. I got a few here, and you guys let me know your favorite games in chat, and also the worst games you have in your collection. I don't know why I bought this, but WWE 2K18. And of course, 2K19's been announced, but not for the Switch, because this is a pathetic port. Did a horrible job porting this game. The animations, it lags. They've done some major updates to fix some of the issues, but it's still really bad. So this here belongs pretty much in a bin of trash. Then we have Monster Jam Crush It. And some of these Monster Jam games years ago were actually pretty good, but this is like a mobile port, and they didn't do anything good to it at all. It's very basic. The physics are horrible. You crash, and your truck just writes itself up automatically, which is kind of lame. So yeah, there was a good Wii game with Monster Jam on the title. I forget what it was called, but it was actually really fun with motion controls too. It was really fun. And then of course, this motocross game. A lot of motocross games on the Switch at this point have been bad, especially this one here. Again, this is just a quick, dirty port, shovelware. There's a PC version, which is much better. Same game, just the PC version, but the developers didn't do a very good job porting it over at all. Frame rate, it's lacking a lot of stuff, so just a horrible, looks horrible too. Doesn't look very good. So those are my three games. We got some guys saying in chat here, The DS Monster Jam was not bad. I never played the DS version of Monster Jam, but yeah, the earlier ones from like several years ago, 10 years ago, were fine. But now they went to the mobile platforms, and this is what you get back onto the consoles. A quick, dirty port is basically what's happening with these games. So unfortunately, those are the worst ones in my collection at this point. But I think definitely I have more favorite games in my collection than do worst games. So I think you do as well, Samantha. All right, guys. So very good question, Anita. It actually lasted a long time for that one question. So thanks very much for that. All right. So Susumu. I think 2 weeks in a row here, Susumu gets a question on board here for a podcast. Do you think we'll get any hidden characters for Smash Ultimate on the Switch? And I think what this means is any kind of unlockables that we don't know about. Is that how you took it too, Samantha?
Yeah, that's how I interpreted that.
Okay. And I would say no. But I think we're going to be getting several more, maybe 4 or 5 more tops announced. But I don't think anybody's going to be hidden or anything like that in the game. What do you think, Samantha?
Oh, I think it would be cool if they would have some secret characters. I don't know if they will, especially since they were making such a big deal about showing all of these characters and announcing the changes to their moves and everything. But it's possible that they could have some hidden ones.
Well, yeah, I guess I should take my statement back. It is the ultimate version of the game, so if they were to do it, they would do it here, yeah?
I suppose.
So who do you guys want to see in Smash, by the way? You guys are always talking in Discord about Smash and in the comments too. So if you had a chance to have a hidden character be unlocked somehow in Smash Ultimate for the Switch, who would you want it to be? Dimitri says Shadow. Sora Dank says. Now I was thinking about additional characters to be added in here. Do you think we'll get any more Xenoblade characters at all, Samantha, added into the game or not?
I was thinking maybe they would introduce one from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, since it's like the Switch's Xenoblade game.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe add Rex or someone.
That would be cool. Maybe 2 at most. Maybe even Pyra. I don't know. People were saying Fire Emblem characters earlier too, but I think we have quite a few already.
Yes.
I mean, you don't want to overstack. It's like weighing down the whole lineup here with Fire Emblem characters. So, but yeah, more third-party characters would be kind of good too. Goku, Dank says, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Maybe Isabelle or something, or Animal Crossing. That'd be kind of neat. All we have is Villager right now, I think. So that'd be cool. Maybe the 4 legends from Zelda Breath of the Wild, Fluffy says. Yeah, there you go. Lots of possibilities here. So, Susumu, thanks so much for your question. We got one more question here, which is a pretty, I think, easy question to answer, depending on if you like Mario Sports or not. But here we go. So, Hector, MSR Gamer, asks, do you think Mario Tennis Aces will be a must-buy? Samantha, of course, you're not really into sporting games per se, but what do you think?
Well, from what I've seen of it and what people have been saying about it, I think that if you enjoy Mario sports games, then it might be yes. If you don't, then maybe not, but not as a reflection on the game itself.
Right, for sure. I totally agree with you. And if you were disappointed by Ultra Smash and you own that game, do yourself a favor and buy Mario Tennis Aces. That's all I have to say. But yeah, I think it'll be a must-buy if you're into Mario Sports and sporting games in general. It's a great game. It's competitive too, apparently, as we saw in the tournament. But also, reading some reviews here from, again, John over at Game Explain reviewing Mario Tennis Aces. There's a lot of competition out there, which makes the game even more fun for me. I think, and you guys too online. So, all right, Hector, Susumu, and Anita, thanks so much for your questions. And don't forget, guys, you can ask your questions to email us, NintendoChitChat@gmail.com, or on our Discord as well. Okay, and you guys are all waiting for the player spotlight, and drum roll here in your heads. Dun, dun, dun. We have Anita Sheldon, NCC player spotlight, so wish her congratulations in Discord and YouTube right now. She's a moderator of ours. She's always here. She's always saying hello in Discord too. And she's always just a nice person in general. She's also a sponsor of ours. So congratulations to you, Anita, for our player spotlight of the week. So they're all saying congrats. Alan says congrats. Simon says congrats. Megan says congrats. Is Anita even there anymore? Or did she pass out? Is she still alive, guys, out there? Let us know, Fluffy. There she is, yes. Oh, thanks, Eddie, she says. Well, thank you, Anita. We appreciate everything you do. Okay. So what issue here are we at for the time portal, Samantha?
21.
Awesome. So let's kick things into gear here with the time portal, guys. Going back into time, looking back at Nintendo games and events from history, whether it be 5 years or 20 years ago. And we have some Pokemon breaking through for the first game of the time portal for issue 21. And what dates and what game?
Yes, well, this week there were a lot of games, so a lot of different games we could have covered. So I basically just picked a bunch of my favorites.
That's totally okay. That's cool.
And so this is for June 18th and 21st, and this is Pokemon Conquest coming to the West. So that was June 18th, 2012 in North America, and then June 21st, 2012 in Australasia. The European release wasn't until the next week.
Excellent. We talk about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee being spin-offs, but this is actually a really amazing,
Yes.
like this is a real spin-off here, yeah?
Yes.
Did you ever play this game?
Between Yes, I played this one.
Okay.
The crossover between Pokemon and Nobunaga's Ambition, which when I first heard about it, I was just wondering, where did they even come up with this?
Yeah.
So this was a tactical game, and it was pretty good.
Awesome. Maybe we'll see a Pokemon Conquest 2 down the road. Who knows? Because it only ever gotten that one edition, right? Just the first one.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I never played it before. I do own it, though, but I never played it. But it is one of those that sticks out in my mind. And it's expensive, too, I think, to get new.
Mm-hmm.
If you find people selling it online, it's pretty expensive. So if you find it for cheap, do get it for your collection. All right, then we have the next one. This is a DS game. We have June 19th being Ghost Trick, and this is Phantom Detective. Is that right?
Yes, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. So this came out in Japan on June 19th, 2010. And so the big thing that attracted a lot of people like me to this game is that this was a new game from the creator of Ace Attorney.
Awesome. And what kind of game? It's like what kind of game is this, actually, besides being a detective game? Is it like an RPG at all, or adventure, or storytelling?
It's sort of like it's a lot of storytelling, very story heavy, also sort of like a puzzle game.
Okay.
The basic idea is that you play a ghost who can manipulate objects by possessing them. So basically, depending on what you're trying to do, if you're just trying to get from another area, one side of the room to the other, or if you're trying to save a character from dying, you have to figure out how to use the objects together to accomplish your goal.
That sounds pretty cool. Was there any more in the series then for this Ghost Trick?
No, only this first one, and then it eventually got a mobile port, I believe, but that's it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No sequel or anything yet.
So we have some really big hitters, actually, in this time portal this week. All right. And then we have this next one I think we talked about, or in one of our articles a while back. I think you may have had it in one of the 3DS or eShop or something articles we did, I think, a while ago. I forget. I have to look it up.
I think like the underrated
Yeah,
DS games
hidden
or
gems,
like that.
maybe, yeah. So here we go. One of the hidden gems for the time portal, June 22nd, is the Magical Star Sign released. This came out in Japan on June 22nd, 2006. And what is this game like?
Yeah, so this is an RPG. It's actually the sequel to a game that was never localized. That was called Magical Vacation. But so this is a basic turn-based RPG, but it's kind of unique in some ways because, in most RPGs, maybe you have some spells, but you don't use them too often, or you have one or two mage characters. Well, here, all of your characters are magicians, so the combat system is very focused on using magic. And there's also some sort of planetary alignment system, so depending on what planet you are currently aligned with, determined which magic would be the most powerful.
That sounds really cool. Yeah, I actually like this name better than the predecessor's name, Magical Vacation. I prefer Star Sign over the newer game here. That's pretty cool. And was this the last of the series then, or do we see any more of these afterwards?
Oh boy, I'm not sure. This was certainly the only one out here. I'm not sure what's happened in Japan since then, if they've had more games or not, because I think there might have been even some sort of spin-off or something that they had that's never came west. But
Okay.
this was at least the only one out here.
Right. All right. And last but not least, for our time portal, everyone, we have a pretty big hitter here. We're looking for this to come, whether it be a new one or a port or something eventually. Eternal Darkness was released on June 23rd, and this is for the GameCube. And this was back all the way in 2002. So explain to those who don't know what Eternal Darkness is.
Yes, so Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem is a horror game heavily inspired by H.P. Lovecraft, although not directly drawing on those stories, but very clearly heavily inspired by it. And it also is kind of famous now for its sanity system because it didn't just do things in the game, but it played tricks on the player. So that was a very cool feature. And this was actually published by Nintendo, which is interesting. A lot of times when people talk about Nintendo, they don't think of them actually publishing a horror game. But yes, so Eternal Darkness.
Very cool, guys. So that's a great collection of games in the time portal here. Do check out the article, too, on the website over at NintendoChitChat.com. So that's Pokemon Conquest, of course, Ghost Trick, Magical Star Sign, and to wrap things up, Eternal Darkness. Very cool, Samantha. Thanks so much for doing that. And I guess we'll wrap it up here, guys, for the podcast this week. About 45 minutes worth of news and your questions. We appreciate it very much. Again, go ahead and ask your questions right now in our Discord or email us for next week. That'd be great. And before we head out, Samantha, anything you want to talk about or cover?
Oh, just to ask to wish me luck because tomorrow I will be teaching a class and then pitching to an agent.
Oh, wow. Well, we wish you luck for sure. Break a leg, Samantha.
Thank you.
All right. We'll talk to you then next week, and hopefully with good news, too.
All right.
All right, Samantha, thank you so much. Everyone wish her a good weekend, and thanks for watching, guys. We're going to stop things here and come back to you next week with episode 26 of the Nintendo Chit Chat podcast. Thanks to all of you for joining us, and make sure you guys wish Anita a big congratulations as well for Player Spotlight. I'm Eddy Ray. We'll talk to you guys next time. Take care.
Grab the audio version of the Nintendo Chit Chat podcast on iTunes, Google Music, SoundCloud, or Player FM.